I put out a B2C business to consumer survey out there. So asking people who they are in terms of, I guess, demographic and what they're looking for in a what they're looking for in a robotics kit, and what about this robotics kit drew them in.
So why do you think so many entrepreneurs, especially ones with like your background, engineering and tech, like pretty much like blow off customer service or customer service development?
Uh,
Why do you think so many engineers like yourself or tech people like kind of blow off like this?
the,
Just, they do like the Field of Dreams thing, build and they will come, and that doesn't work,
because I think engineers like us, we're in love with the tech and we're in love with the features, and the last thing we think about is what other people want, or needs. So sometimes there's kind of a disconnect, and I had trouble with this with the multilingual glossary Jargonaut, and as well as Terrestrius, figuring out what people needed and what people thought about the actual product, and optimizing for people's needs. Even with this, I went to a local investor in Tacoma for some advice, and he thought it was bad form that I had any idea or concept before having asked any customer ahead of time, because this person was from a business marketing background. I think marketers and tech people tend to address things in a different order. So I think for someone in a business background, even the way I'm doing this now, and I think I'm doing customer development pretty early. Even then, it might be some kind of bad form.
So how do you deal with this, right? There's so many people out there give you, quote unquote advice, right? And I'm sure it all comes from a good place, from the background or whatever. But a lot of times it's not good advice for your situation, right? So how you kind of decipher, okay, this guy just told me this. I don't know if I really trust it or not. This guy told me bad advice. Like, how do you decide all that noise, know what to go with?
Or I guess the disclaimer I need to make is I constantly make mistakes, and I don't always do everything right. But I think, or what I do is I try to do is I guess ask as many people as I practically can. So I have many mentors and people I talk to in the Tacoma startup community, and I do get lots of advice, but some of it overlaps. So where it overlaps, I definitely do that, and where it doesn't tend to overlap, or where the advice might be different relative to what I would do, I take that as a license to be creative.
So let's talk about the Tacoma startup economy or startup scene, whatever, right? It seems as long as I can remember, Tacoma has always been trying to catch up with Seattle, right? Trying to prove it's worth whatever, right? And they do events and then it dies off, and then something happens, it dies off. They've never been consistent cities, right? And I compare Seattle would never be San Francisco. I don't think Tacoma would be Seattle, right? And the sad thing is there's all the talent down there, all the colleges, all the students, all the stuff down there, right? But it just seems for whatever reason they just can't get off the ground, right? What do you think the reason for that is?
I think in terms of Tacoma, as you said, Tacoma might be trying to be Seattle in a certain sense. So students go to UW Tacoma, and then they leave for jobs in Seattle or San Francisco, and startups starting in Tacoma, they leave Tacoma for opportunities in Seattle or Bellevue. I think so. People leave in search of opportunities, and I don't think there's much that Tacoma can do about that. But the great thing about Tacoma is that everyone there in the startup community, unlike Seattle, has an open door policy. So if you need advice, you can always find it. So I think Tacoma needs to embrace its role as a startup nursery where startups are born. it might not be the place where the startups end up, but it is definitely a great place for startups to begin.
That's actually pretty damn good advice. Someone needs to take that. Are there any like startup success stories in Tacoma?
I think
Whatever success means.
the biggest one I know are Laura Malcolm's Given Kind.
Okay, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. So there are a few down there. Yeah. I know her.
Stan Wen's Thriftalapalooza.
I don't know about that one.
It actually started at my in some way at my garage. So I was having a yard sale and having trouble selling things because it's kind of difficult to advertise a yard sale. So Stan he thought it might be good to have a well advertised yard sale where multiple people from all over can come in, bring their stuff, and then sell it. So he started a company called Thriftalapalooza, and so they started selling. They started organizing it at the PL Fairgrounds once or twice a year, and now I think they're doing the same thing in Los Angeles and Portland. So they've really expanded.
All right. And for your social media, is there one like you're more comfortable with, like one you like being on more versus other ones?
Are you talking about? You're talking about the platform.
Yeah.
I think I prefer LinkedIn over Facebook or Instagram because or I tend to get a lot more feedback on LinkedIn than I do on Facebook or Instagram. So if you look at the Takamori robot. If you look at the Takamori robot LinkedIn, so many more likes, reshares, and comments than any other platform.
I think you shared this on your LinkedIn, but can you tell the story of why your name is the name of the company?
Takamori robot.
Yeah.
So in Japan, I actually have a different name. So in U.S. I'm Joseph Caseper, but in Japan I'm Yuji Morita. And if I take the characters from the name, it can be Taka for my first name and Mori from my last name. Then I can actually combine them together and into Takamori, which actually reads as prosperous forests. And also my family in Japan actually have a connection to Japan's last samurai, Saigo Takamori. So for people who've seen Last Samurai, that is not Tom Cruise, and so that's another reason for the I guess robot samurai character on the keychain.
So why do like Asians have English names? I know they do in China, they do in Vietnam. Why is that?
My situation's a little bit different. So in my case in the U.S., my dad decided to name me after his brother, and also Casebeer comes from my dad's adoptive father, whose last name happened to be Casebeer. But
by the way, what a fucking cool last name!
It is a cool last name. I went to startup group or online startup group during the pandemic in Philadelphia, and they called me Happy Hour. So in Japan, they call the English name that they use in the U.S. They call it the Starbucks name.
Okay.
So the name you give at Starbucks, and the person working there will get it right each time.
Yeah. So for the tech event July 30th, what is your goal for the tech event?
Get as many Kickstarter pre-launch signups as possible.
That's a good goal. Yeah. And so what will you be doing for the demo on that day?
Or as a trade, I'll probably have this running and actually get the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi functionality working so people can actually connect their phones to the robot and.
Oh shit, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so hopefully I can get that done hopefully I can get that done on time. And of course put up pamphlets so people can find the website and Kickstarter stuff very easily.
Yeah. So what do you do? You have a lot going on, but what do you do for fun?
what do I do for fun? A couple of my hobbies. I do like playing musical instruments, so I'm able to play piano or guitar. I also like cooking. So for a lot of engineers and scientists, it's like chemistry. So, but something we can do at home and safely.